and I face planted it so hard. I must have been moving pretty quickly. That it hit me so hard on the side of the face. When I came up, I had to check my teeth to make sure I hadn't knocked them out.
Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the UK Surf Show. I am your host Pete.
And I'm Leighton. On today's episode we're going to talk about our last surf session and we've got some questions from listeners.
Yeah, so we'll just dive straight into it, shall we? Our last surf session was fucking epic.
It was pretty unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was absolutely awesome. It was probably one of the best sessions. Well, as we said before, we are very average at surfing. Mm-hmm. Every time we seem to go lately, it's been this session was the best session ever. This was the best wave I've ever caught.
Yeah, which is a good sign to show that we are
still progressing. Still moving along. It was just great. We went to we were umming and ahhing. We went to Westwood Ho in the end.
Yeah, Westwood Ho. It was quite a busy day, so we were lucky to have one of those rare days where the weather was good and so was the surf, which doesn't happen in the UK, does it? So.
Yeah, so I think we went last Wednesday, which was the, 20-something. Last day of real good surf, I think it was.
Yeah, it was about 3 days, wasn't it? Really good surf.
It was hot. Going back to something we've said on a previous episode, which Mr. Tightwad here said that, oh no, I wouldn't get a summer wetsuit. I went and bought a summer wetsuit this last week from the Tiki shop.
You need one. Yeah. So on one of the previous podcasts, I said that I probably wouldn't buy one. I just wear my 5'4" winter wetsuit. It was ridiculously hot, so I wore a swimming wetsuit for triathlons. I wore that in the end.
Yeah, I wore I think it's a 3-2 I bought from the Tiki shop. Absolutely incredible thing.
Yeah,
really good wetsuit.
And what you find as well, that because it was thinner, it's easier to paddle.
Oh, much easier to paddle. Yeah, much easier to paddle with a thinner wetsuit than a thick winter suit. And really recommend it. Really good. The guy really knew what he was talking about in there. I said about sizing. He was like, "Yeah, this is the size you want." Held it up to me. Obviously, with all the weird COVID stuff going on at the moment, couldn't really try it on and everything in there, but you know they had a policy of if it didn't fit properly, I could have taken it back. Put it on when we got to Westwood Ho. Fitted well. First time you put a new wetsuit on is always a bit of a
bit of a mission.
And really good.
Yeah, so we went to Westwood Ho. We went at the far end near the estuary mouth, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we met some other friends down as well, also surfers, obviously. And we went out on... The tide was going out, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think high tide was about, what was it, 8 or 9 o'clock or something like that?
Yeah.
And I think we got there just after 9 or 10 o'clock or something.
No, it was 11 after we bought your wetsuit.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But we were out there, and there's 5 of us in total, and the waves are really good. And right at the very back, we could see waves breaking really far out, couldn't we?
Yeah. So yeah, we were looking out. We were looking out at past. So we were quite far out anyway, and
surfing unbroken waves. But then there were waves breaking really far out.
Yeah. So there was you could see really far out these waves building up, and then sort of dying down again, and then as they were getting to us, building up again. But they looked better further out. So I said to a few of the guys, do you want to try and go out there? And at first it was met with a bit of no. I think one guy, Stu, said, no, I'll just sit here and take one on the head. I'm not going all the way out there.
But it was like a good 20 minutes of paddling to get there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah,
20 minutes.
Something like that. It was a long paddle anyway to get there. And yeah, as I say, when we were there, we were far out.
It was, and it was awesome though. So we now realise there was a sandbank out there. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I've heard that before, that there's sandbanks out there, and if you can find them, because obviously they shift around a bit with the water, if you can find one and it's working, and they basically, you're further out, you're on a sandbank, it comes up, pushes the water round, you surf that bit, it dies down again, you just get off and just like a short paddle back round. It was really, well, it wasn't a short paddle, it was quite long, they were quite long waves actually.
Yeah, you just stayed on for the ride, didn't you?
Yeah, and then I think my final one from there, I got all the way from out there, which I got more or less all the way back into shore.
But so there was 5 of us there. The rest of the guys are tradesmen and barber. Yeah. And so it was just the perfect day. It was quite busy because it was hot and there was a lot of people on the beach. But because we were so far out, we were the only 5 surfers on this beautiful little break, which Ollie was getting excited about because this is technically a reef break, which is cool.
Yeah.
And the waves were just perfect, weren't they? Like 4 to 5 foot, lovely, easy waves to surf, and I just didn't stop smiling the whole time. It was incredible.
I think Ollie sent me a message afterwards. He's renamed that. Our friend of ours has renamed it Peat Break.
Yeah.
So Peat Break is where we surf there now. It was an amazing surf. It was an amazing session. The waves we were all catching they were just incredible. I never. I don't know. It was quite speechless, actually.
Well, we were saying we wish that day we had some kind of waterproof camera or GoPro or something.
I did have one.
Yeah, but you lost him. So
it's in the. If anyone's in Saunton and they find an action cam, give us a shout.
There's going to be loads of them in there.
Yeah. Well, one of them's mine.
But if we had one of those cameras that day, we would have had some amazing shots that we could have put on the Instagram for the show and stuff. We just obviously didn't. There's one bit that I remember quite vividly. Is obviously you remember nearly every wave you get when they're that good. And all 3, there was you, me, and Stu went for the same wave. All got the same wave, and you're kind of on the top of it, where you're like trying to get it, but you're stood up at this point, and Stu leans forward, drops right in, you lean forward, drop right in, and I'm last and following you two, and I do the same thing, and then we're all on the same wave going along. And so if I had the camera, I'd have filmed Stu dropping in, you dropping in, and then me dropping in behind, and then followed you along the wave afterwards, and that just would have been such amazing footage.
Yeah, it was just a great day. It's one of those days that I've got so much to say about it. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. The only bad thing about it is the next day.
The next day's bad, and
it's like having
it's like depression.
Yeah, it's like having the colour turned down on life the next day. You're just like, everything's so boring.
Yeah, and especially that after a surf like that, when you get something after that, and you look at the forecast, and there's nothing good for the foreseeable.
Yeah,
it's even more depressing.
It's irritating, isn't it? That's why people who live in like next to surf breaks around the world, which are consistent, unbelievably lucky, and that's why they're so good as well, because they got so much time to practice on waves.
Yeah. I had some waves that day where if the conditions were a little bit better, I'm pretty sure in my feet. I know I've said it before, but I'm sure I could have caught a tube that day, because I was. Leighton said he saw. Oh, well, you can explain the one.
Yeah,
you saw.
So I was paddling out, just come off a wave, turn back round, paddle back out. Lovely big wave coming towards me, but because we're right at a certain point, we are catching unbroken waves, so you don't need to duck dive underneath them or do our turtle roll or anything. As I'm paddling back out, I move out the way of Pete's line of where he's going to surf to. He catches a wave, and as he catches one, and he leans towards me, and I thought he was going to fall on me, but you just carved right around me in a big, lovely arc, but leant right over. And I thought, I've just had a camera then as well. It just would have been a great photo.
Yeah, that's it. And I've seen a friend as well. A friend Ollie was on the waves, and you see him travel across. He's a really good swimmer as well, and he catches everything.
And his paddle fitness was unbelievable.
his
It's like I thought he had a motor on his boards.
But like he'll catch any wave, he can just catch it. And it's one of those things we just take the piss out of him for it. Oh yeah, great. How does he catch that? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you just see him like going across the top of a wave for ages and then just disappearing from behind as you just see him disappearing as they drop down into the front of the wave.
Yeah, it is interesting to see everybody has a slightly different style as well, because you think just standing up on a board is going to be standing up on a board, but like I noticed Stu would always grab the rails.
Stu always grabs the rails.
Yeah, and that looked really cool, especially because I was paddling back out and he caught one and kind of come down the face of the wave and turned to what would be his I think it's his front side, because he surfs goofy, doesn't it? And he's holding the rail, so his backhand was on the outside of the rail, and it just looked really cool. Looked like he was holding onto it like a monster wave or something. It's really good.
Yeah, that's it. It was an amazing surf, and those are the surf days you live for, isn't it? Days like that. It was a good surf. It was a good bunch of people. It was good fun to be surfing with everyone that was actually surfing, and because you can go surfing sometimes with people and they don't surf. They surf like we used to surf. Hanging around in the white water.
Yeah,
It's a bit, you're broken up and apart. But that sort of thing where everyone's having fun. It's just fun. You're playing. You are playing.
What we've said, didn't we? That we were saying how it's not competitive in any way. That's what I really love about it. Like we're all sat there in a lineup waiting for waves. Everybody either decides to go for the same wave just so you're on like what they call a party wave.
Yeah.
Or if somebody gets one, everybody's cheering them that they're, whoa, oh my God, amazing wave. You see them shoot off and everybody's like kind of whooping. And I love that part of it.
Yeah, that's it. I know you do hear a lot of, like, the more people you speak to and the more you look into it, the more there's certain places you can get people that are, they're like, we were chatting to Jamal last week, he says about surf Nazis as well, when they're just like real, angry surfers in the water, think they own the wave and everything like that.
Which is weird, isn't it? Because I don't understand that, because I can't see what side of surfing would promote that, because the feeling that you have out there is just pure bliss. And so I was speaking to someone on a weekend. I was telling them about surf because I haven't stopped talking about it since. I've been just going on about it. Like Mrs. has had enough.
Shut up.
Yeah, so she's had enough. She's a surfer as well, and she was a bit gutted that she missed the day. And I was saying to someone the other day about it, and they said something like quite, I don't know, I didn't really realise this before. She said, I have nothing in my life that makes me feel like that. And I thought, bloody hell, we're actually really lucky to have found something that makes you feel like that. Yeah. That is accessible to us. And like, not only is it physically good for you, but mentally good for you. And Jamal was mentioning that as well. So we're lucky as surfers to have like this kind of total body fix, isn't it, when you're out there?
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things. I mean, if we go through the podcast and we get to a point where we can actually explain that, what it is, I think that's the point when you probably have to stop.
Yeah,
because you've reached enlightenment through surfing. Then I think it would be.
Yeah, well, hopefully, when we speak to all these other people, they're going to be able to articulate it better. Like Jamal just had a great way of kind of getting across that feeling, and when he said about surfing is the movement side of meditation, like that stuck with me. I might even get that tattooed on me. That's such a cool saying. So when we speak to these people, and I'm really interested to speak to like shapers and stuff, and the science behind it, and it's just such a really massive, deep kind of section, isn't it? Like surfing itself, there's so much going on with it. Yeah. Like it's really cool for us to dive into it.
Yeah, I'm quite interested to talk to shapers in the UK as well, because I know, well, my minimal knowledge of shaping, of what I know, is different waves around the world react differently to different boards. They're shaped for the different way you want to ride the wave.
Yeah.
But
and UK, how you surf as well.
Yeah, but can that be the same thing in the UK? Because
you can.
The waves vary so. What I mean is the waves vary so much. Like,
yeah, I think it's more from what I've read, it's more how you surf. Like I know some shapers will come out with you and surf, see how you surf, and then design the board around you.
That's cool.
Which is cool, yeah.
That would be cool. Do you know what else would be cool at some point to get, like, later on down the road to do that and actually have a board made, but as we go through it, record that process on a podcast.
Yeah, that'd be cool, yeah.
That's something we could So
the other thing is cool now is the timber surfboards. Like a hollow wooden surfboard.
Yeah.
I'd like to speak to some hollow wood. There are a few of them around, shapers that do hollow wooden surfboard. I'd like to chat to some of them.
I've seen some videos of them on Instagram.
Well, the good thing about them, because like the surfing thing has a bit of an eco side to it, doesn't it? Because it's the ocean and you want to protect it because it's the thing that you love. Well, the foam boards aren't eco-friendly at all. They're really bad. So if you can, I know they're a lot of money, but if you did have a hollow timber surfboard, one, it's better for the environment. Two, it lasts a lot longer. And three, they're absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, they are nice. They're more set towards the original surfboards, aren't they, which were made out of wood?
Yeah, like the Hawaiian ones were,
wood and stuff,
like solid though, weren't they?
Yeah, that's something that you want to look into, I know. The other thing, while we were on about our surfing trip, there's one more thing. I've seen loads of it posted on social media as well. If you're going to the beach, take your rubbish home.
So irritating, isn't it? So irritating.
Just take your rubbish home. I don't think it's surfers mostly as well. I think it's people that are sat on the beach.
Yeah. The annoying thing is that because of this lockdown and everybody saw the effects on the environment from, less air travel, less car travel, all this kind of stuff, saw the benefits of it. And then the first nice weekend that people are allowed out because of guidelines to relax, and they cover the beach in their crap. What are they doing? Yeah,
it's just like you're in a. I know we've got to travel to. It's a bit of contradicting yourself. You drive there to go and surf there, whatever, but you go there and you go into a car park and there's just rubbish everywhere. It's like I've seen posts on Instagram of people like. Regular people just going out and picking other people's rubbish up. Yeah. Just because like you just said,
we had a fire on it. So we do live by the coast. It's just not a surfing break. So we are by the beach, and we went over a fire on the beach, didn't we? With my boys and missus and you come along, and we had to pick up all the crap where we wanted to. Where we wanted to sit for the evening.
To clean up the beach before you sat down.
Yeah, disgusting.
Yeah. Anyway,
let's not get into it.
Start raging on a podcast.
Yeah. We had some questions.
Yeah, we did have some questions. Right. So first question, where have I put the questions? There's the questions. Right. First question came in from Luke, and it says chest zip or back zip for a wetsuit.
Well, I think chest zip. I've owned both, and my chest zip wetsuit, easy to get into, easy to get off. I don't know if it's just because they're newer anyway, so that there's a bit of there's more stretching because there's like a certain percentage of spandex in the material.
I agree chest zip, but I think the back zips are easier to get in and out of because it opens up wider. The chest zip when it's freezing cold and you come out the sea and you've got nothing left. You've got your Ian Beald. You're totally I've got nothing left. You're totally like
Ian Beald. What's that?
Did you not see it? It was going around on social media a while ago. Something he's like EastEnders thing or something, and he's doing. I've got nothing left.
Ian Beald. That's going to be what everybody's going to say when we're in the lineup now. When Stu was saying, "I'm not paddling out there," he's now going to go, "I'm not paddling out there. I'm Ian Beald."
It is, isn't it? What's the other one? Ollie says catching a Leona.
What? I didn't hear him say that. What was that?
Catching a Leona is like, this is my moment, So Ian Beald and catching a Leona. That's the new sayings. Yeah. So back to the question: chest zip or back?
Yeah. Well, maybe my back zip wetsuit is so old. 100% neoprene. It's like a suit of armour. So maybe it's just
it's made out of wood. It's that old.
Yeah. It's made out of wheat.
Yeah. It's I think the back zip ones could be easier to get into. They open up wide. You can just step into them pretty much.
Yeah.
The chest zip ones,
they've got to be warmer.
I think they are. I think from memory, my back zip one as well. If you go through a wave or come off you get a rush of water down that back where that zip is. The chest zip seems to be tighter around the neck.
Yeah, and I also find that because when a wetsuit gets really old, it starts leaking through that zip.
Yeah.
And because there's more of a zip on your back.
Yeah, it's a smaller zip area.
Smaller zip area. And it's also like double layered, isn't it? Because you kind of get into your wetsuit through the neck.
Yeah.
And then pull it, which is effectively like a hood motion, is it, over your head, and it goes around your neck, and then you zip across the chest. So it's like double layered where the zip is anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think most of them now, most of the new ones are zip chest, aren't they now?
Yeah, yeah. I think. I think you can get whatever, but it's
Also, you don't get that annoying tag flipping around.
I tell you what, that's the other thing on a back zip. With that long bit of like tag on there, I've gone to stand up before, put my hands down, and actually the tag has flipped over my back, gone under my hand, and as I've gone to pull up, I've just pulled myself into the front of the board. I ended up in a mess, face planting the board basically.
Oh, actually, hang on a minute. That's what I was going to say about the surf session we had. So when you fall off on a broken wave, the water you're falling into, because it's all foamy, is filled with air, so you kind of just fall through it, don't you, and go into the water. Well, I wiped out on an unbroken wave this week, and
you wiped out hard.
I face planted the face of the wave, and you're kind of falling, you're going to fall. You thought, it's not going to be that bad, and I face planted it so hard. I must have been moving pretty quickly, that it hit me so hard on the side of the face. When I came up, I had to check my teeth to make sure I hadn't knocked them out. And then I'm checking my eye to make sure I haven't given myself a black eye. And then I'm making sure I haven't lost my watch and the board's there. So okay, right, I'm gonna go back out now.
Yeah, I think I had a couple of nice wipeouts the other day as well. One, I've seen people do it before where they stand up and stand both feet in the middle of the board, and I thought, I'll try that, dicking around. Don't try that. It takes far more skill than I've got to do that. I thought I was going to knock myself out on the board because I stood up, I jumped up like that, planted both feet in the middle and zipped it, and the board went forwards, and I came off the back, and the back of my head just missed the back of the board. That was one of them. That hurt. And the other one, I think I had to... I had to check my ass because I came off so hard. I wasn't sure if I split it.
Split your gooch.
Yeah, that was a pretty painful one as well. But
did you have another question?
Oh yeah, there was another question as well. So yeah, in answer to your question, chest or back, Luke? Don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah,
I think chest. The most people I see now is chest.
Chest, yeah. The newer, like we said, newer wetsuits have a certain percentage of spandex in them, so you can get into them through the neck, and then, and also if you're going surfing by yourself, how many times have you been so cold when you've got out the water that you can't actually pull that zip down? Yeah. You're trying to contort yourself to try and get hold of the tag to pull the zip down off of the back zip.
Yeah. And the other question we got from Jack was saying that we mentioned on another podcast about different board types. Could you tell us what all the different board types are and what they're used for? Yes, we can. This is something you can find a lot more information online, and there's a lot of differences in the boards as they go. So your basic ones are, you've got your big gun, which is your big wave riding board.
Yeah, these not relevant for the UK, really, is it?
Not really. I think there's a few places around the UK, like reef breaks, and maybe some places in Scotland or in Ireland where you could use them at some point. But I think they're not relevant that much for the UK.
Places where we're not going to surf.
Yes. Longboard. You've got your longboard, which is your standard longboard. 8 foot above normally. There you got your smaller days, your 3, 4, 5 foot waves. Some people can, depending on your skill level, a lot of people can surf bigger waves on longboards. Then you've got your fun board, which is like your Minnie Mouse sort of size, 7 to 8 foot size board. Yeah,
aren't they really high in volume?
Yeah, bigger nose, bigger round noses normally on them. It's a fun board. It's halfway between a short board and a long board, so you've got more movement then you have in a long board, but you haven't got the turn-in of a short board, which is the next one there, which is a short board from about 5 to 6 foot.
Yeah,
6 and a bit foot around
and
those.
That's what Seb was riding on Wednesday. Wasn't
yeah,
he
was. Because he got there really early, didn't he?
Yeah.
He went round and surfed at Croyd first of all. And
I think he actually surfed for like 11 hours. So like he kept getting out of the water, obviously to like get food and stuff. But
no, he went to Croyd really early, surfed for a couple of hours. Then he got out, came around to Westwood with all of us, and surfed for another couple of hours. Then he got out and then went back in again with us. Yeah. And when we went back in the second time, it was really choppy though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He had a short board. He was I thought, to be honest, this isn't going to be a short board wave for him, but he was catching stuff on it.
Well, it wasn't really, wasn't it, until we paddled right out.
Yeah.
And we're right there. They were big.
Yeah, he was catching some good waves. And then you've got a fish board is the other. Sorry, did I say short board? Yeah, so your short boards, 5.5, 6.5 foot. They're the people you see like whipping the board round to turn in, like flipping off the lip, like
really carving up the
wave. Really good riders like that. And then you've got your fish board, which is a short board but with a fish tail and a wider volume, so it's wider than your standard short board. The nose is slightly more rounded. It's like if you look at it from the back, it looks like an open fish mouth. And these you can catch more, so you can catch smaller waves than you can on a short board. They're not as maneuverable. They're not as maneuverable as a short board, but you can catch more stuff on them, and they're. So
I wonder if that'll be
your progression-wise, really. If you wanted to go down to a short board, you'd go long board to start with, probably down to a fun board, then a fish board, and then to a short board.
Right, yeah. So the fish board's like a transition board, then, is it?
Yeah. The fish board. There's the people I've spoke to that have ridden them, and the people that I've read about. There's a big. Some people love them. Some people absolutely hate them. It's like
they're a bit
Marmite.
Looking, aren't
they?
They're
a bit Marmite. They're the Marmite of surfboards, I think, fish boards. But it just depends what you're into,
And you got a famous person's name to describe the board, like an Ian Beale or whatever it was you said. A Leona Lewis. Like, could they get this? Like,
I don't know. I'm trying to think of some celebrity that people either love or hate now. I don't know.
Piers Morgan. It's a Piers Morgan.
That's just no. I won't go there. I'm not even going to go there. Anyway, so yeah, those are the questions that we had. So I hope that answers your question. There's so much information online, and then as we said, we were talking about today, you can go into shaped boards. Like if you've got the dollar to do it, you can spend speaking to someone the other day, and they were saying from 600 to 1,800 quid, even higher than that. You can go to
the session we had this week, I was so buzzing afterwards that I've got just like one of the kind of pre-formed boards, so it's not actually shaped. It's like a.
You're going to say you're going to buy a new board.
I really, really want a lovely board now, but it's so expensive. So, but that is something like something that I will set my sights on. To have like a nice shaped board.
He's going to spend some money.
No, not yet. I got to make it first.
There's that. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for today's show. I mean we'll come back and bother you again with some nonsense we've got to speak about. We've got some people to speak about and speak about. To. Yeah, we can speak to them as well.
Yeah, that might be an idea.
Just have them on and speak about them. You have to sit there in silence.
Just mute them. Yeah, we've got some interesting interviews and coming up, haven't we? Some cool guests coming on. We're going to just, do bits and pieces as we can. We're going to try and get you, as we said, a show every month. The first Monday of every month, we'll get one out. And then if we get interviews and stuff, we'll drop them in the meantime. So if you can subscribe, go on to our iTunes, our Spotify, acast. We're on those. And if you could subscribe, leave a like, leave a review, follow us on... Instagram, and under the UK Surf Show. We have now got episodes on YouTube as well.
Oh yeah, I did that. I worked that out.
Yeah, because some people listen to podcasts for YouTube apparently now.
Apparently so, yeah. So I was chatting to someone the other day. They said, I said, where'd you listen to podcasts? YouTube. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's pictures.
There's no video footage of us because we don't want to put people off.
Yeah, you want to see us two just say hello. So we are on all of them: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We've got Facebook page. We've got YouTube. We're on there now, so you can listen to the podcast on there. Subscribe, like, watch, comment, ask questions, get involved, get in contact with us, and we are happy to do whatever we can to make all of our miserable existences that little bit brighter. And
more importantly, go surfing.
Yeah, talk about getting out surfing. Tell us about your surf sessions, and if you're interested enough, we might even arrange to talk to you sometime.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Right,
so that's it. If you're going out in the water, there's no waves, so have a good swim.
Yeah.
See you later.
See you soon.